Hey y'all, hey, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. Listen, today we are talking about The Handmaid's Tale, Season 6, Episode 8, and this one is called Exodus. This was such a great episode. I loved it. After 7 episodes, it's so good to see that we are finally here, finally ready to go to battle with Gilead, and I am here for it. I mean, it seems like for the past few seasons, we've been hanging out in Canada. And so to be back in Gilead, to go to war, to fight, to end this thing out, I am super excited about it. So let's just get into it. The episode starts off. We see Mora, we see June. Looks like they're doing some alterations. Maybe putting some slits in the coats or the cloaks that the handmaids wear. We know that they have these knives that they're going to use for battle, and it looks like they're creating some kind of space to slide the knives up into their uniforms. We look over in the red center where the handmaids are, and we see them. They're getting dressed, they're putting on all of their stuff, going outside. We see Aunt Phoebe has them all in a line, and just it was just a great scene and a great shot to see Maura and June coming out of the red center, and they're all lined up and they're all ready to go. Honey, they are ready for battle, and I am here for it. Let's get down to this wedding of Serena Joy and Commander Wolford. Okay, so we are here. We are at the wedding, right? So we got the handmaids. They all come in. They're all together. They're sitting all together in one part of the church. Then we see Nick. Nick walks in with his wife. He walks in with Rose. He seats her. And then we see him walk up to the front of the church. And I'm like, okay, so he must be the best man or something, right? Followed by the commanders. We see Commander Lawrence. We see all the commanders. They're coming in, followed by their wives. Now they all come in together, and then their wives come in behind them, which was kind of weird. It's like, why are you not walking in with your wife? But they all came in together, and then the wives came in, and then behind the wives were the handmaids. So we have the posted handmaids that come in last, and they come in and they sit over there with the other handmaids from the red center. So I'm like, okay, this is perfect. This is be a good time to go ahead and hand these knives out. All right. So after all that's said and done, here comes the bride, honey. Here comes Serena Joy. She comes marching up the aisle with this big old smile plastered on her face, ready to meet her oppressor. Commander Wharton is standing there at the top of the church, him and Nick standing there together. She walks in and they take a seat. They got these two big king and queen chairs that's sitting up at the top of the church. And so they take a seat, they're sitting down. Nick starts officiating. He goes into his little speech. So he's saying a bunch of nonsense. And then he says, let us pray. Everybody close your eyes, bow your heads. We're about to pray. So this is the perfect time. June sets the plan in motion. All right, everybody, get one. Take it, pass it. They're passing knives, right? So as they're passing these knives, of course, there would be one who drops the knife. So as she drops the knife, of course, it makes a sound. And of course, there's a guy, a guardian with an AK-47 on him. So here he comes. He comes up just ready to blast on somebody. But then I guess he decides he has a change of thought, and he leaves it all alone. So the girl, the handmaid that dropped it, she kind of used her foot to kind of slide it. And I'm like, girl, don't you slide that across the floor. You're going to make more noise. June, in the meantime, says, okay, hold up. Don't pass down no more knives. Don't do nothing else. We're going to wait and we're going to finish this out at the reception. So that is exactly what they do. Okay, so we're at the reception. All the handmaids are there. They all go in. They have a seat over on the side where they're going to be sitting. We have everybody's there. The guests are there. In walks the bride and the groom. They introduce the married couple. They come in. They go ahead. They do their first dance. So they do their dance. The commanders' wives and them, they join in. And over there, off to the side, we see Aunt Phoebe. So she's introducing the red center handmaids to the posted handmaids. And everybody meets everybody and everybody sits down. So we look over and we see Commander Lawrence. Now, Commander Lawrence is looking a little nervous, a little bit too nervous for my liking. I'm like, look here, Commander Lawrence, you need to calm down a little bit because I feel like you're going to blow it. Just calm down. He's looking extremely nervous. So here comes Commander Creepy Bell. He walks up. He starts gloating about the fact that he has Janine as a handmaid. So you know that the handmaid that you used to have is now my handmaid, right? And Commander Lawrence is just looking like, if you don't get away from me with this. And then Commander Bell starts talking to him about his daddy's handmaid. Oh, you should see my daddy's handmaid. She is super fertile. She is like the best handmaid and all of Gilead and all of this whole thing. She gets pregnant every week. She's popping out twins like it ain't no thing. Like she's the best handmaid ever. So Commander Lawrence is just kind of looking at Commander Bell like, please leave the table and please get away from me with all this. So finally he does. He walks away. And if that wasn't enough, here comes Serena Joy. Commander Lawrence, I just wanted to let you know that although I'm married now, I am still Team New Bethlehem. Nothing has changed. I still want to do the things. I still want to have, my center, and I just want to let you know everything is still everything, right? So he's just like, okay, all right, yeah. So she's like, well, I'm glad we had this conversation. Let me go over here and talk to the most important guest here today. And that would be the handmaids. And I'm like, Serena, why? Why are you going over there messing with them handmaids? So we look over there and we see June and Moria, and they're talking. They're just finishing up, handing out the knives. And then June goes, oh my God, here comes Serena Joy. So she comes over. Quick, quick, girls. Aunt Phoebe's telling them all to get up. She's like, come on, gather around, gather around. So I'm like, oh Lord, now it's going to be blown because somebody is going to recognize June. I don't even know why June was even there. But anyway, because I'm like, everybody knows who June is. So as everyone's gathering around Serena Joy, Maura and June are kind of like doing a Homer Simpson. They're backing away, like backing towards the back. And so Serena Joy starts telling them about how, they're important to everything. They're important to the mission. They're just, she's happy that they're there and she wants to take a picture with them later. And she used to have a handmaid back in the day, and the handmaid was mean to her and she was mean to the handmaid. But she feels in her heart of hearts that the handmaid forgave her. And I'm like, did she forget what June said the last episode or a couple episodes ago? Because she told her, I do not forgive you. So that right there just lets me know that something's wrong with Serena, or this is just a ploy to just get what she wants. To me, nothing is ever genuine with her. Nothing is ever authentic. It's always, met with an ulterior motive. So I just don't know if I bought into her little speech that she gave the handmaids. So while she's talking to the handmaids, here comes Rita. And Rita probably saw her from across the room and was like, Lord, let me go over here and get her, because next thing you know, something's going to go wrong. The more and the longer she talks to these handmaids, the worse it's going to be, and his plan might not go through. So Rita comes up to Serena Joy and says, hey, I think it's time. She's like, really, already? Yes, ma'am. It is time to eat this cake. And I'm like, yes, let's get to it. Let's get it cut. Let's get it served out, and let's get it going, because we know what Rita did with the cake. Okay, so it's time to cut the cake. So we have Serena Joy and Commander Wharton. They're up there cutting this cake. And although I love Rita, that cake was just hideous. I didn't like the color. I don't know what that was. It was like a red, purplish cake or whatever. But honey, we are not here for the look of the cake. We are here for them to eat. And that's what they did. So everyone's eating the cake. It was funny to see Commander Lawrence tell Naomi, you go ahead and eat. You might need a couple pieces because you eat like a bird. Like he really want her to eat that cake. Like he just eat it like he needs a break. He don't really need to hear her voice for a couple of days, right? So I thought that was funny about the cake. So anyway, as they're eating the cake, it is time to leave. Now, they did give the handmaids cake. However, the handmaids didn't eat the cake. So they're all sitting there, and Aunt Phoebe comes up and she's like, okay, girls, it's time to go. Let's all get it together. So as they're getting ready to leave, they slide their cake underneath their chair, right? So as they're doing that and they're gathering up things and they're getting ready to leave, honey, who do we see walk in the door but Aunt Lydia? And I'm like, oh my God, what is she doing there? Now, right before she walked in, I remember Maura was asking June, so, hey, what's going on with this cake? Because remember, we saw what looked like maybe poison. So we really didn't know what was going to be put in the cake. But we did hear June tell Maura that in about a couple of hours, it'll take effect and they'll just go to sleep. So it's sort of like a sedative. It's not anything that's going to kill anybody, but it's just going to knock them out and just enough time to get done what we need to get done. But anyway, back to Aunt Lydia. Aunt Lydia is supposed to be in Washington, D.C., because that is where Commander Lawrence sent her so she can go advocate for these handmaids. However, she's back. And I'm like, Lord, well, there goes the plan. Aunt Lydia's back. So everyone's surprised to see Aunt Lydia. You hear Commander Lawrence say, Lydia, what did you do? Did you blow me off? And so we have Aunt Phoebe. She's there. She's greeting Aunt Lydia. And all this is going on while the handmaids are gathering up their stuff and they're getting ready to leave. So while Aunt Lydia is looking around, she looks and she thinks that she sees June. So, of course, she does see June, but June is continuing to walk. So she's walking and she's looking around. She's looking confused, like, I know that ain't June Osborne. So she's June Osborne, June Osborne. So as the handmaids are walking out, they're lining up to get ready to go because Aunt Phoebe said, listen, if you are posted, you guys go ahead and go home. And the rest of you guys are going to go back to the Red Center. So June told Mora, hey, look, you go back with the ones from the Head Center, from the Red Center. I'm going to go back with the posted handmaids. So that's everybody's outside. Everybody's getting ready to go and they're lined up. Well, Aunt Lydia thinks she sees June. So she's chasing down behind one of the handmaids and they're walking out as they're walking out, and she's just determined to just find June Osborne, honey. So she goes, turns this one little girl around that she thought was June, and it turns out it wasn't June. So at that time, Lawrence and Phoebe are sitting there like, what is going on, Aunt Lydia? She goes, I think I seen June Osborne. Commander Lawrence is like, are you nuts? June Osborne is in Alaska. She's like, Alaska? Yes, honey, Alaska. That's where she's at. So Aunt Phoebe's like, listen, Aunt Lydia, you must be tired. I want you to go in. I want you to get the biggest piece of steak they got in there. Get you some steak, get you a glass of wine, and please get you a piece of cake, right? I don't care what you do, get you some cake. So she didn't say it like that, but she said, told her to get some cake. So she's going in, she sits down, and she starts eating her food, right? In the meantime, the handmaids, they're taking off. The ones that's in the Red Center are going back there. The ones that are posted, they're going home. June is going with the ones that are posted, and Mora's going to the ones back at the Red Center. So Aunt Lydia is sitting there and she's enjoying her meal. And this is towards the end of the ceremony. So, everyone's pretty much clearing out and everything. So as she's looking around, the event space or whatever, she's looking and she sees that there's a plate, I guess, with cake on the ground. So she asks one of the guys that's cleaning up, she's like, hey, who was sitting over there? And he says, oh, that's where the handmaids were sitting. So she gets up, she starts doing her inch eye private eye. She's looking around, she's looking under the chairs and everything, and she sees that the handmaids did not eat their cake. Like nobody ate it. So she's like, something ain't right. Something is not right here. So I don't know what Aunt Lydia is getting ready to do, but whatever these handmaids are about to do, especially out at the Red Center, they need to hurry up and do it because Aunt Lydia is on the trail. Okay, so now let's talk about the happily married couple. We got the Whartons, Serena Joy and Commander Wharton. So it's after the wedding, after the reception, they get back to the house. They got their new place. He's carrying her over the threshold. They're having a grand time. They're just laughing and oh, today was just amazing. And oh, we're married now. And oh, this, that, and the third. But what we don't know and what Serena Joy don't know is that you got a little surprise waiting for you, honey. They walk in the house, and what do they see? A handmaid. A brand new handmaid is sitting there waiting for them. And, the handmaid greets the commander and says whatever it is they're supposed to say. I'm here to greet. My name is of Gabriel. I'm here. I'm your handmaid. May the Lord open. Blessed be the fruit and all the rest of that stuff. And then he repeats what he's supposed to say to her. And in the meantime, Serena Joy is just sitting in the back looking like she's about to throw up. She's like, what is going on here? Oh, well, you got yourself a handmaid, Serena Joy. So, and she's like, why is she here? Commander Wharton is like, I told you I wanted a big family. Yeah, I got all that, but I'm fertile. Well, I understand that you're fertile, Serena, but I told you I wanted a big family. Now you're gonna be good, but she's gonna help. So everybody, and so she's like, hold up. What's your name, honey? And she goes, of Gabriel. And I'm like, oh Lord. And she goes, no, no, no. What is your real name? And I was like, Serena gonna get this girl killed. And she goes, Christina. She said, let me tell you something, Christina. Get up, get your stuff, get out of here, and don't never come back. And so Commander Wharton's like, whoop, hold up now. What I need you to do, handmaid, is get up, go in the room. I'll deal with you in a minute. Now, look here, Serena. I have dealt with your liberal way of thinking. I have bowed to you, cowered to you, whatever you wanted. I have been there for you. But what I'm not going to do is turn my back on God. Now, this is the Gilead way. We having a handmaid. You're under your what? I'm under your what? You're just like the rest of them. He's like, enough. And she's like, okay, so what are you going to do to me? I have survived being beat by a belt. I've had my finger cut off, and I will survive you. Okay. And so he's like, I'm nothing to survive, right? I am a good man. And for me, I believe in my heart of hearts that he feels like he is a good man. And that is just the thing that just really gets me, that these people really think that the harm that they're doing to these women and all of the physical assaults and all of this stuff that's going on, that they feel like it's in the name of Jesus. It's in the name and it's in the book that it's supposed to be this way. I'm like, these people, it's just crazy. So anyway, she's just, she's upset. She's screaming and yelling. She wants to go. The baby starts to cry. So she goes upstairs and she grabs baby Noah, and I was thinking that, he was going to try to keep her at the house, but he didn't. He told her to leave. He said, if you want to leave, go ahead and leave. I'm not going to stop you. He tells the guardian she wants to leave, let her out. So Serena Joy has the baby and she's headed out. She's disgusted. What would have been, I guess, her enjoying her wedding night as a newlywed has turned into her leaving her home with her baby in her hand, and nobody knows where she's going. I have a feeling she's going to Commander Lawrence's house, but I don't know. So we'll see what happens there. Okay, so in the meantime, in between time, we got these handmaids, right? Now let's talk about the ones that are posted. So we see this beautiful shot of these handmaids. They're walking two by two, and as they get to their house, they peel off, to their prospective homes that they live in, right? So remember, June is a part of this group, part of the handmaids that's going back to their posting. The problem is June's not posted anywhere because she's not even supposed to be there. So my question is, well, where is she going? Well, it doesn't take long to figure it out. She is going to Commander Bell's house. So, honey, she gets in there. She gets into his house. I don't know how she was able to get in. Door should have been locked, but nevertheless, she gets in there. And remember, Commander Bell was at the wedding and the reception, and so he probably had cake. So and they don't show his wife. I'm assuming his wife is probably upstairs and she's probably asleep. But Commander Bell is sitting like kind of, I guess, in the living room or in his kitchen area or whatever. And he's just sitting there in a chair, right? And you can hear the phone ringing. So the phone is just ringing, but of course he's knocked out from the cake, so he doesn't really respond to the phone ringing. Finally, after the phone keeps on ringing, June is able to get pretty close to him, but she's kind of standing behind him. So he kind of wakes up. He's groggy. He picks up the phone. He's like, this is Bell. And he's listening to what whoever it is on the other line is saying. And whatever it is, it's pretty surprising to him because he's like, what? What? So as he's doing that, I guess June makes a move and startles him. He turns around and sees her. So he stops talking. Keep in mind, he did not hang up the phone, but he stops talking. He looks at June and he says, June Osborne. So he didn't even stand up. And Commander Bell is pretty tall. June Osborne. So June comes up to him and June's like, nice to meet you. And then one quick move, she's just like, yeah. And she gets him right there in the eye with a knife. So I'm like, oh boy, yeah, this was good. So you hear him, he's just kind of choking, just kind of in pain, just making all these noises and stuff. He falls to the floor. And in the middle of all that, now keep in mind that the phone still hadn't hung up. So I am really sure, like maybe 100% sure that whoever was still on the line heard what was going on. And I think that's going to come back to bite June, but we'll see. In the meantime, June looks up and we see Janine. She comes down. And so Janine just looks, and it's not a whole lot of words that's said. She's just like, June. And she's like, hi. And she's like, thanks. She's like, no problem. And that was pretty much the end of their scene. And I'm like, okay, well. And my thing was, I kind of wanted to see Janine get him because he has done so much to that poor Janine, Commander Bell has. And I just felt like this would have just really gave her and me and probably the rest of the fans that watched the show the satisfaction of seeing Janine actually take out Bell instead of June. But turns out it is June that gets it done. And so, honey, we'll take it any way we can get it. So that's that on Commander Bell's house. So let's hope that we don't have to see Commander Bell's creepy face again. All right. So that's the end of that. We got to go back to our girl Lydia and see what's going on with her because the last time we checked, she was pretty upset that the handmaids did not eat the cake and she feels like there's something going on. So, honey, she's racing back to the Red Center. She gets there, almost runs right into Aunt Phoebe, like literally runs into her. She's like, "What's going on, Aunt Lydia? Where are the handmaids?" "Well, they're all put down. They've been asleep now for about an hour." "Come on, we going to see what's going on." "Well, what's going on?" "Nothing's going on. I need you to come unlock this door." So Aunt Lydia is walking up the hallway. Phoebe's walking behind her. Phoebe takes that thing out and she's getting ready to handle business. And I was like, "Phoebe, girl, go ahead and do what you got to do, honey, because we cannot let this plan be ruined because of Aunt Lydia." So I believe that Aunt Phoebe was getting ready to get Aunt Lydia, but what saved her was the guardian. There's a guardian at the door who was surprised to see Aunt Lydia. So he's like, "Aunt Lydia." And him being surprised kind of made Phoebe kind of fall back on her plan. So she puts her knife away. And so Aunt Lydia tells the guardian, "Hey, I need you to just look around, stay alert, because something ain't right. Something's going on here. Phoebe, get over here and unlock this door. We need to figure out what's going on with these handmaids." So Phoebe, she gets the keys out. She's fumbling, dropping the keys. Aunt Lydia's like, "Oh, for God's sake, please just open up this door." So finally, after fumbling with the keys, she gets the door open. Aunt Lydia walks in, sees all the handmaids. They're seemingly fast asleep. Everybody's covered up. Everybody's just down in their bunks. So as Aunt Lydia is walking, she's walking up and she's looking at the handmaid. She stops at this one particular handmaid, snatches off the covers, and sees that the handmaid is completely dressed. She's completely dressed, all of her clothes on, including her boots. So that lets Lydia know, something is definitely going on. So the next thing you know, the lights are on, all the handmaids are out of their beds. They're sitting there on the floor crying and probably pleading for their life. You got the guardian with the weapon just pointed, just ready to just, do his thing. And then all of a sudden, Aunt Lydia, she's saying Bible verses and it's not good to lie and the Lord says that this that and the third and she's just saying all this stuff. And so she gets Phoebe because she's like, "Phoebe, you had something to do with this. You are a traitor." And she's getting ready to have the commander, I mean, not the commander, getting ready to have the guardian harm Phoebe. So right when that's about to happen, Maura stands up and she's like, "Lydia, leave her alone." And so Lydia is just like, "What? Wait a minute. What? Who is this person?" So she's just looking like, "Who are you? What is your name?" So this is Maura's opportunity to finally have her moment with Aunt Lydia. And she tells her about herself. "I don't know why you want to know my name. You don't care nothing about me. You took my name away from me. I have no identity. This is what you've done. So you don't need to know my name." So she's telling her all about herself and so Aunt Lydia is not happy. She's just like, "You know what? I believe you a traitor. I believe you with June Osborne. Now tell me where she is, because you can get blasted on too. Where is June Osborne?" And as soon as she said it, you hear, "I'm right here." Honey, we turn around and June showed up to the Red Center with Janine. Now, I thought it was great that she showed up with Janine because if anybody knows anything about Aunt Lydia, she loved herself some Janine. So she's looking and she sees June. June comes in. June starts having her moment with Aunt Lydia, right? After all these seasons, she's like, "Look, Lydia, do you really, in your heart of hearts, believe that God wants this for us? We have been kicked, we have been harmed, we have had our eyes poked out, we have been just physically assaulted, just mentally assaulted. I mean, do you really think that this is what God wants? Is this God's plan for us? And so I don't know if this is the first time that Aunt Lydia has ever been, asked this question in front of all these people like this, where she can actually take stock and take accountability in what she's done. Because June is like, we're this way because you did this. You did this to us. You took away our babies, right? You took our eyes out. You beat us. You just treated us like we were less than human, right? And do you really think that this is God's will? And so she's just looking and her little lip is shaking. She don't know what to do. And then she looks at Janine, and she's got that soft spot for Janine. And Janine goes up to her. I think she hugs her, and she told Aunt Lydia what has happened to her, all of the horrible, horrible things that's happened to her. And so she gives her a hug, and as she's doing that, that's everybody's cue to get out of the Red Center. And honey, that is what they do. So they get out of the Red Center, they're running out like their life depended on it. Now this scene kind of got me a little bit, because I'm like, what's going on with the Guardian? I mean, old Gilead, he probably would have got the using his rounds, but he didn't. He just kind of, sat there, and I really think like that's gonna come back to haunt somebody, as well as what Aunt Lydia did. Because after she hugged Janine and Janine was able to leave, Aunt Lydia falls down on her knees and starts asking the Lord to help her, and starts asking the Lord for forgiveness. So I really feel like Aunt Lydia has found her redemption. I really feel like, I think it was a combination of seeing the bodies out at Jezebel's and seeing how Janine was hurt. I think that was enough to kind of turn and sway Aunt Lydia another way. But we'll see what happens. We'll see how long this lasts. So in the meantime, honey, we got the handmaids. They are out of the Red Center. They are running for dear life. And I was like, good girls, just keep running, keep running. And at the very end of the episode, we see the handmaids that are posted, and honey, they are activated. So we see them arriving at the bedroom doors of these commanders, and they are about to take care of business. And I'm like, oof, I cannot wait to see what the next morning looks like in Gilead. And that, my friends, was the end of the episode. Like I said, episode 8 was great. I love it. I cannot wait to see what happens when they come back with episode 9. I believe it's called Execution. There are going to probably be some people that are going to meet their makers next week. I don't know who it's going to be. I'm hoping we see Luke again, and I'm kind of hoping that we see a little bit of Hannah. We have not seen Hannah yet. I don't know, but I feel like there's going to be some people that are going to be taking their last breaths next week, and I just don't know. It could be Commander Lawrence, it could be Nick, it could be June, it could be Maura, Serena Joy. Excuse me, it could be any of them. So we'll see how it all turns out. And I hope you guys are here next week when I do it. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.